In a world of warring tribes, one man would weld them into a single empire. But the boy destined to rule the world was supposed to die at birth. He survived and never stopped defying fate. This is not just the story of a king. It's the story of the first world emperor and the bloody price he paid to claim it. A prophecy warned King Astyages his grandson would one day take his throne. The order was simple: kill the child. But the infant was spared and raised in secret among common herders, never knowing he was royal blood. From a distance, he learned the rhythms of war and began to imagine himself at the center of it. When the truth came out, the shepherd's boy was no longer a hidden threat. He was a prince, reclaiming destiny. Astyages tried to break him. Instead, Cyrus broke his kingdom and united the Medes and Persians under his own name. It wasn't mercy that kept his enemies close. It was strategy. And now, the real conquests could begin. First target, the richest king alive, Croesus of Lydia. One campaign, and Lydia was his. Next came Babylon, taken without a single battle. How? Not through force, but through the gates themselves. His army entered as liberators, not conquerors. The city embraced its new king. He freed the captives of Babylon, even the Jews, sending them home to rebuild their temple. And to seal his rule, he carved his vision into clay, the world's first human rights charter. From the Aegean Sea to the Hindu Kush, Cyrus's banners now fluttered across the horizon. But the map was still incomplete. In the east, he met warriors, mounted on beasts he'd never seen before. And still, they bowed to the King of Kings. Fortresses thought impenetrable crumbled before his engineers. No wall could hold back the Persians. Not every battle was fought with swords. Some were bought with gold, others with promises of freedom. And so the world's first truly multicultural empire was born. One that valued loyalty over bloodline. From Egyptian temples to Indian markets, Cyrus ruled not just land, but the flow of ideas. His name alone could make cities surrender without a fight. But one frontier still defied him. Beyond the northeastern deserts lay the Massageti, fierce nomads with no cities to besiege. The merchants warned him, they cannot be bought. They only respect victory. And so, after decades of building, the king prepared for one last campaign. The enemy was led by a woman whose name would be etched in blood, Queen Tomyris. The desert would decide who lived and whose name would outlast the other. It began with a single arrow and ended with the death of an empire's creator. Cyrus's army clashed with Tomyris's riders, swift, brutal, and unyielding. The King of Kings was struck down, surrounded by enemies, in a land far from home. Captured, he faced the queen. He sought to conquer. Tomyris plunged his head into a bag of blood.
I warned you I would quench your thirst.
In one act of vengeance, she ended a reign that had redrawn the world. The desert claimed his body, but his vision could not be buried. Generations later, another young conqueror would follow his blueprint and bow before his tomb. Even his laws survived, carved in clay, echoed in ink. His empire may have fallen, but his idea of kingship endures. Cyrus the Great, a title no one has dared to claim since. The first world emperor, and perhaps the last of his kind. The queen's vengeance was complete. But in killing him, she immortalized him. An empire built in decades, but now stood leaderless. Armies withdrew. Borders trembled. They buried him in a simple tomb by his own request. He wanted no golden monuments, just the memory of how he ruled. And so his words outlived his empire. Faith lit his path. Justice secured his name. Even his enemies recorded him as the ideal king. The conqueror who eclipsed him still paid respect at his grave. Some legacies are too valuable to erase, but even the greatest empires eventually fade. His vision of fairness is carved into our global laws, from clay to paper to pixels. Even now, his promise is challenged and defended. His empire's lifeblood, trade, still fuels nations, and defiance still wears armor. Legends thrive in the age of hashtags. The borders change. The idea doesn't. Mercy still marches. History will test you and then remember you. Every age remakes its heroes. We keep digging for him. Mercy is power. Laws written in clay now echo in halls of power. Nations still debate what he decided alone. Exiles then, exiles now. Some promises are timeless. The art of diplomacy? He invented it. Empires rise and fall, but gold always rules. Trade routes he carved now pulse with data instead of camels. Every king becomes a monument, then a photo op. Conquerors fade, but teachers keep their lessons alive. What would he say to the rulers of tomorrow? The names change, the struggles don't. Nations still wear his crown. Even kings face judgment in the court of opinion. Commerce is still conquest. Warriors still guard the peace. Pilgrimages are now measured in likes. Patrons built empires then and now. His fire still burns. The next ruler, Dot, is always watching. The stone still whispers. Civilization is built on the same foundations. Empires of stone, empires of screens. History is never over. From a single throne, he commanded nations. He entered Babylon, and history bent to his will. Even the greatest meet their reckoning. Empires crumble, but his name endures. The first world emperor, and the standard all others chase. Join the empire of memory. Never miss a conquest.